March 25th. Today, as I was reading Deuteronomy, I couldn't help but think of Robert's lesson yesterday in church. And if you guys remember, Robert was talking about our sin and the things that Colossians, it tells us to get rid of. How really the reason is because it's a form of idolatry. And Robert talked about crucifying. I don't think he used the word crucify because he was preaching out of Colossians, but in Galatians, Paul says you crucify that sin, you put it on a cross, you kill it, and you don't let it come back to get you. And Robert talked about killing it and getting rid of it and stop it. But anyways, in Deuteronomy, God tells the Israelites, he says, completely destroy them, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, as the Lord your God has commanded you. Otherwise, they will teach you to follow the detestable things they do in worshiping their gods, and you will sin against the Lord your God. Otherwise, they will teach you to follow all the detestable things they do in worshiping their gods. He says, when you take over the land that I give you, you don't just go in and reside with those people and live with those people and live among those people. He says, you get rid of them, you take them out, because if you don't, really what's going to happen is they are going to corrupt you, and you are going to be formed to their way of life rather than them being formed into your way of life. And it's the same thing with our with our sin. We can't coincide and live with our sin and live in the same way of life, because what happens is the sin ends up taking over us, and it ends up changing us, not for the better, but for the worse. And it's just like with the Israelites when they went, God said, you get rid of everything because I am the Lord who has brought you out of Egypt, and I am the one that is going to dwell in your hearts and dwell with you. And I do not want the Hittites and the Canaanites and everybody else there. You get rid of them. Same thing in our life, guys. God has told us to get rid of the sin in our lives, to put them aside because he has greater and better plans for us. And yeah, that's easier said than done. But this message speaks to us today as it spoke to them long ago, that, man, we got to get rid of evil. Otherwise, it overpowers us. So I want to encourage you today to be thinking about the sins in your life that really do take a hold of you, that take precedent in your life, and that sometimes you coddle and you say, well, I really like this one and I don't necessarily want to crucify it. It's really not that bad. Challenge yourself to get rid of it and to crucify it. I don't know what that is for you. I know what it is for me, and really in the past month, I've crucified a lot of sins, and yeah, some of them have come back as zombies, like Robert mentioned, but some of them have stayed there, and I'm proud to say that God's working on my self-control, and He's working on my heart. Anyway, guys, I love you, and I was so thankful for last night life group and the message that Charlotte and Mike shared. So if you guys are watching this, thank you. Guys, continue to seek God. You guys are doing awesome, and I can't be blessed with a better group. All right, you guys have a blessed day.